Hi everyone. So in this video, I am trying to share the details on how to install Docker Desktop on Windows Home Edition 64-bit computer. So I will walk you through the step-by-step process. Uh, Please join with me. So this is the step-by-step process we follow to install Docker on Windows Home Edition. The first step is we need to navigate to the Docker website where installation guidelines are provided. So this is the website where we will have the complete details on installing Docker. The first step is we need to download the exe Docker desktop exe to install the Docker desktop on our local machine. So as my computer is a 64-bit operating system, I have opted for the Docker desktop for Windows 64. So once you download, next is we need to check the system requirements to run Docker desktop in our local machine. Here Docker is providing multiple options. One with Windows subsystem for Linux and another is Hyper-V backend. So I have selected WSL2 backend. So for that, these are the system requirements which we need to run Docker. The first step is we need to install Windows subsystem for Linux WSL version 1.1 or later, and then we should have a Windows 11 64-bit operating system with version 21H2 or higher. Okay, and then the next step is we should have 4 GB of RAM, and then we need to enable virtualization. So to check all these system requirements are met, I will walk you through. So first thing is we need to have Windows 11 with 64-bit operating system. So if you go to the system settings, you can identify that. So here we will have the details. So Windows 11 Home and with 23H2 and then with 16 GB of RAM. So these settings are supporting 4 GB of RAM, 64 processor, and then Windows 11 64-bit. So and uh, now this will help us that operating system will support the Docker. So the next thing is they are telling enable hardware virtualization on our machine. So to check whether already virtualization is enabled or not, we can uh, go into our task manager, and then we can check virtualization is enabled or not. So for that I'm going to the task manager and selecting the options to check virtualization is enabled or not. So if you see here in the performance tab, here we have an option virtualization enabled. So this is also done. So the next step is they are telling we need WSL to be installed on our machine. So we will check how to install WSL in our machine to support Docker desktop. For that, we need to open Windows PowerShell as an administrator, and then first run this command WSL space hyphen hyphen install. So this command will install WSL on our machine. On top of that, we also need to go into the control panel and select turn Windows feature on or off. And here we should select the option Windows subsystem for Linux and click on OK. So these two things will allow WSL to be installed on our machine, and then to make the changes reflected, we need to restart our machine once. So this is the process, right? So now all these system requirements are met. Now Docker needs a Linux environment to run in our local machine, right? So for that we need to install the Ubuntu version in our local machine from the PowerShell command. Okay. So now when we come to here, so we have first, as in these steps we completed what are the things we completed. If we revisit, we went into the Docker website, and then we check the system configurations, and then we completed WSL install. So now the final step is we need to install Ubuntu in our local machine. Okay, so for that we need to use this command, and we need to run this command from our Windows PowerShell in under administrative privileges. So the command is WSL space hyphen hyphen install space Ubuntu hyphen 22.04. So as I already installed, I am not running this command. So the moment you run this command, it will take 5 minutes to install this Ubuntu on our local machine, and it will ask for username and password. So this will finally install Ubuntu on our machine. So with this, we complete the system requirement parts to install Docker on our machine. The final step is just the exe whichever we downloaded in the initially when we started video, right? Docker desktop for Windows 64-bit. We need to run this in our local machine. So for that, just go to the downloads part of our machine. Here we can find the software which we downloaded, Docker Desktop Installer, and select this and follow the installation steps and then install Docker. So once you install Docker and we have the Ubuntu on our local machine, right? Docker will start working on our machine, on our desktop. So if we have any containers running, it will show here. If you have any images, anything, it will show here in this area. So this is how we have to install Docker for Windows Home Edition. So with this, we can create applications to containerize in Docker and deploy them accordingly. So thank you for this watching this video. In the next videos, I will try to give more insights on this topic by developing some applications which can be containerized using Docker. Thank you very much.